What's up, everybody? I'm not even happy right now. Phillies are listen. I don't know what the hell's going on. Phillies post game show. Tony Tyler, no mood to do this. Full transparency, like legitimately no mood to do this. Extremely pissed off. Extremely frustrated. Make sure you give us a follow at Heat Ratio Sports. Make sure you follow all these post game shows. Like and subscribe to the channel as always. But look, it's been a while since I've kind of. That my alter jigsaw ego has come out, and it may come out in the stream. I don't know, but so many different things to look at in this game, just to be completely frustrated about. Effort. I'm starting to question effort. I haven't questioned effort on this team for a very long time. People have hit me up. Are you concerned? I've been saying no. I'm really not. Tonight, that's changed. It's changed, and tonight's the first time I'm questioning Rob Thompson's decision on, listen, man, Brandon Marsh is killing you, is legitimately killing you right now. He's lost. And Tyler, I can't for the life of me understand. And I know Rob's a left, right kind of guy, but why is he batting fifth? Like that's the first, like, I don't understand it. One of the worst hitting guys you have right now on your team is batting fifth. It just doesn't. A lot of things just don't even make any sense to me right now.
Yeah, I really don't know why Brandon Marsh is batting fifth. I mean, you saw him thrive in the eighth spot when Austin Hayes was primarily there. But, I mean, he was fifth. I mean, it's so tough because who are you going to put? Bryson Stott? Bryson Stott's been struggling a lot. Castellanos. I mean, and if you want to do lefty-righty, your options tonight were Stubbs, Marsh, and it's just – a brutal time. And like here, Brandon Marsh, he's 0 for his last 18. He's struggling heavily. I believe his average is under 240 at this point now. And then Bryce 230, yeah. And then Stott's he was 0 for 3 or 0 for 4. So his average is 232, 233. So it's just brutal for the lefties in the bottom of the lineup for the Phillies.
It's bad. It's bad, and it just keeps getting bad the worse. I mean, we're suffering some major defeats, and those demoralizing defeats. And I don't care. Here's my thing: like, I understand that this team is battle tested. You hear Rob talk about it all the time. I'm not worried we're battle tested, but eventually, this weighs on. I don't care if you're a 20-year veteran or you're a 1-year rookie. It doesn't matter. It weighs on you. They're getting the shit beat out of them like consistently now on specific games, and especially against a team that just had your number in the playoffs last year. And listen, you lose Zach Allen, you lose Ketel Marte, and you're still. I mean, you got McCarthy out there looking like the second evolution of Adam Dunn when he was hitting 40, 45 home runs every year, man. Like we are making players look so much better than they are. And the bullpen, again, I don't want to spend too much time on Junior Marte because I know everybody, but people understand, like, I've never been a Junior Marte guy. I think the guy absolutely stinks. I don't understand why he's on the roster. I mean, there you go. That's just tonight. That's just tonight. The guy just looked lost. He looked like he didn't have it. And this isn't the first time that he's shown that he didn't have it. And again, like, I just, I watched that one play, the Bryce Harper, and I'll never rip Bryce Harper. I don't care because, and just for everybody out there who says, oh, what are you trying to say? He can't be ripped. No, it has nothing to do with that. But, when he makes a mistake, it comes from a good place. And that's my issue. Like, I'll never tear him apart. Yeah, he should have caught that ball. Absolutely. But it's because he was trying to make something else happen at the same time. It wasn't because he lazily dropped the ball. Okay. It's different, right? It's different. My man, he says, screw Marte. Listen, man, I get it. I get it. Trust me. I completely understand. Like, this guy, and here's the thing. You watch Lazar come up, and everybody's looking for this kid. He was lights out in the minor leagues. He gets up and makes a debut. Looks great. Okay, looks really good. He's in. Listen, even though they're up 11-1, it's still a high pressure situation because the entire team is riding you at that time, right? So he did what Marte can't do, and so you can't tell me, Tyler, there's not another person in AAA that you can have instead of Junior Marte.
Yeah, I definitely think this was Junior Marte's last time we'll be seeing him in a Phillies uniform, maybe ever. I mean, coming back from the All-Star break, this is what he's done. 0 runs, 3 runs, 2 runs, 0 runs, 1 run, 0 runs, 7 runs. So very inconsistent, not particularly a good arm. He showed some flashes last year, but he's just all nothing this year. And I do think he's done. I think he's 7 runs. That's just unacceptable. He didn't even finish the inning. So yeah, Junior Marte, I don't know if they're going to send him down to AAA or they're designating him for assignment and he can be a free agent. I'm not sure how that all works out, but he's definitely out of the Phillies bullpen. They got to find someone else from AAA to call up.
100%, man. 100%. I mean, John Jackson, you could put my 60-year-old dad out there. You could probably throw better. I'll tell you what, man. If your dad's 60 throwing 95, that's awesome. But now I get it. The location, I get it. What's up, David? My man, checking in. Angels, my guy, David Roska. But listen, man. You know, I'm at the point finally. Like I keep saying this, I'm concerned tonight. I'm concerned. And, you know, again, you look at the way this game has played out. We talked about McCarthy already. 2 for 4, 2 home runs should never happen. Okay. Bryson Stott. You know, Bryson Stott is locked into a full-time platoon with Edmundo Sosa, in my opinion. I mean, and I never thought I would say that. Like he hasn't gotten any better, and he's not getting any better. So, and he's getting to the point now that he's in positions to where he's actually hurting the team more than he's helping at the plate, which is crazy for me to think about that. But it's the honest to God's truth. Hey, David's already saying Mike Trout, the Phillies this offseason. Listen, man, I'm sorry. Like, he's damaged, man. Like, I hate to say it. I mean, I feel bad. There's a guy that could be the GOAT or one of the GOATs, and he just, listen, his body's just not cooperating. Brandon Marsh, 0 for his last 18. And, you know, you talked about the keys of the game. Let's break them down because it was like, okay, attack Gallen early. Well, we got lucky, man. Like you saw it that third time around the lineup, we started to really hit them hard. And shout out to Castellanos again, who was ripping the crap out of the ball, but again, just hitting it right at people. Like it's unfortunate, but Tyler, when Gallen, I don't know about you, but I don't even know what he did. Like I know they were saying the groin, they showed a little turn, but I mean, bro, are you that fragile? I mean, you just turned around a little bit and you tweaked it that bad. Like I was really dumbfounded with that.
Yeah, it didn't really look like it was anything too bad, but I mean, I think it was on his plant foot. So we're in the groin area. I kind of understand, even if it hurts a little bit, that just throws off your mechanics entirely. So probably not, hopefully not too serious, but I mean, they were already up 4-1 at that point. So might as well just take him out. He's your ace. You don't want to see him get hurt any more than he needs to be. So,
True.
I mean, it didn't look that bad, but apparently it was.
Yeah, it's sometimes. I mean, listen, you could tweak things, and I mean, I'm not trying to be here a physical therapist here, but it just did look absolutely crazy to me. 2 was limit the homers. That didn't happen. Right. Okay. Arizona 24-32 runs via the home run in the last 6 games, 4 home runs and 8 RBIs tonight. I mean, come on. And then we talk about Aaron Nola. The bad, you know, we talked about the last start, the bad inning. Okay. I mean, he looked like he couldn't find his control at all in that inning, and we watched it. But the crazy thing to me, though, and I don't know if I'm the only one who's been noticing this, but again, oh look, Tyler Barras of the Brewers. John wants to send you to the Brewers, bro. Yeah, hey, they're paying them more than I'm paying them. Go ahead, bro. Get that bag. But listen, you know, it's not just Nola. Like I watched Wheeler last night. Looked like he had control issues. We watch guys in the pen come and look like Christopher Sanchez as a starter. Look like he had control issues at the time. It's kind of weird. It seems like even Ranger Suarez, before he went on the shelf, had those moments where they just completely lost control. And it's listen, if it's one pitcher, it's different, but it's just your entire staff. It's starting to happen too. I don't know what it is. I'm not trying to say there's something going on. It's just kind of really weird that it's affecting every single pitcher.
Yeah, and you might have to question, is this something that Rob Thompson did? Did he leave his starters in for too late in the first half of the season? You saw Ranger Suarez fell off a cliff, and now he's on the injured list. Christopher Sanchez was in a slump. I mean, Nola's inconsistent, and Wheeler had his downtime. So you really have to wonder, is it Thompson's fault for leaving guys in too late? Because, Ranger Suarez, it's the most innings he's ever pitched in his career. And, there's games where he's going 7, 8, 9 innings. So really kind of have to wonder, does this fall back on the managers? Because it's not just happening to one or two guys. It's happening to 4 of their top guys. 4 guys who were, I think, in top 5 in the ERA for the National League. Yep. So you kind of have to wonder, is that a Rob Thompson thing?
Well, here's what I will say about Topper. It was thought that they wanted the pitchers to go longer to preserve the bullpen, that they were going to work really hard in the second half of the season. So, which is fine. The problem is, either way, I think Topper's screwed, because if he would have taken them out early and this happened to the bullpen, we all would have said, oh, well, you know what? He should have just kept the starters in longer. It would preserve the bullpen, right? It's just, listen, everything's happening now at one time, and that's the problem. So now people are starting to panic, because it's not just the pitchers. It's just not the starters or the bullpen. It's both. It's not just the bench guys or the starters. It's both. Like, this entire team is really starting to implode a little bit. And I've never been as bored yet concerned as I was tonight. It's just certain things I'm watching. And I understand, before everybody starts hitting me and popping in and say, I'm getting a little crazy, but I understand, like JT Realmuto, I get that he had surgery, but he's not playing 100%. Trey Turner, he's not playing 100%. Like, I'm watching these guys' body language. They're running down to first base. I'm watching them at the plate. They're just not the same. The energy that we saw, Tyler, in the first 2 months of the season is not what we're seeing right now.
No, and I think it certainly helps that they were winning a ton of games. So obviously the vibes are going to be higher when you're winning. So when you go from all the way up here from vibes all the way down here, I mean, that's just a detriment to the team. I mean, you see that they're not hustling. They're not really having some competitive at-bats. Bryson Stott especially. Marsh is going in 0 for 40 slumps, and then he comes back and he's really well, and then he's back in another slump. So talk about the vibes. If the vibes aren't there, can we talk about Garrett Stubbs? He did get a hit tonight, but is it? I mean, if he's the vibe guy and you're keeping him here for the vibes, and there's no vibes, do you just bring up Raphael? That's not going to happen. But it's just something that they're.
Well, I think it. I've said this before. I know there's people on both sides of the fence here, and I understand with Garrett Stubbs, and I went further with it. I agree that he is a vibe and a chemistry guy, but my point was, it just didn't stop with that. It went to the point of, some pitchers feel very comfortable with Garrett Stubbs. It also went to the point that you're looking to go Red October and go to the World Series, and the last thing I need is to experiment a half a year on Raphael Marchand, getting used to all the pitchers in our staff. I think there's a little, and honestly, that's the only reason. Now, it's different. If Marchand was up here multiple times, catching all our pitchers, understanding, I'd have no problem with it. But because I can't afford him to learn on the fly. And let's give a shout out real fast too, man. Like, number one, Garrett Stubbs for hustling like he always does. But how about Johan Rojas, who is batting almost 350? Over his last, 12 to 15 at bats. Like, this dude's starting to hit the ball right. And I do think that, what they said is so true about this guy. And just, maybe I should be a coach. I don't know. Maybe they should hire me. I don't know. But I said, this dude's going to stop worrying about hitting the ball in the air. They need to teach him how to just hit line drives, slap hit, bunts, fundamental swings. And now that power, Tyler, when he's trying to do it, it's indirectly coming out, and he's looking really good at the plate.
Yeah, I mean, many people wanted the Phillies to trade for Luis Robert at the trade deadline, and he's been batting like under 200 since the beginning of it's brutal. So people wanted to give up potentially Andrew Painter and Aiden Miller for this guy when you have Johan Rojas, who I said in time he's going to be fine. You don't need him to be your best hitter. He's the ninth hitter. He's not a power guy at all. But I wrote this down on my notes tonight. He looks like he has some power now, just the way he's swinging. Yeah. I think he changed his stance a little bit because he just looks better. And when he's hitting it, it's not like it's weak contact or little bloops. He's hitting the ball hard. He almost hit 2 home runs yesterday. He was very close. I believe if they were playing in Yankee Stadium, there's like that app where it's like, oh, is it a home run?
Yep.
In any state, and it would have been a home run in Yankee Stadium. Which I mean is not saying much, but still a home run in the Major League Park. That's a flex. So he's definitely showing more power. His defense is just always the best on the team in the outfield, at least. So definitely he's stepping it up at the right time.
Yeah, listen, I completely agree, man. I completely agree, and it's nice to see. It's nice to see. Johnson's got popped because he was benching 500 with me the other day. My man, I love the comments. I love the comments. Let's before we go a little further, let's check in to see what we did with the triple play tonight. The bets, obviously, we bet on the games for the show, pregame, postgame, looking ahead, powered by Win Daily. And again, make sure you get the 50% off at Win Daily using code HEAT for all your betting and fantasy needs. So let's check out this segment, how we did with the triple play. So Tyler, it's looking listen, man, we go 2 for 3 tonight, man. Like I like this, and I'll give you this, man. Full transparency. I didn't talk to Tyler at all. This you're seeing right here, Tyler's taking, what Win Daly's giving him, he's breaking it down, and he's using his own judgment. Alec Boehm, okay, 2+ total bases, almost. Alec Boehm, he had 1. That's okay. We can't win them all, but Aaron Nola, Tyler, 4 Ks. That's under 4.5. And then total runs over 8. Obviously, we got 12. So good hit by you. That's 2 or 3. So again, everybody, I keep saying this, and I'm going to continue to say it, man. That's 2 more bets hit. We hit at least, Tyler, how long have we been doing this? Like 2 weeks steady?
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah.
So we're getting like 5-6 out of 7 days of we're doing these shows. And guess what? We have hit at least 1 bet on every single show. So again, Win Daily Sports, go to the checkout. HEAT, HEAT, get 50% off every single model. There's also other deals coming out. And here's the thing. Again, you can get a week for $7.50. You can get a month for $24.99. And you would have got, not only would you got the $25 back tonight, you would have doubled it and bought the next 2 months just on that triple play. So make sure you get locked in on the triple play. Now, we have the Mets. I haven't checked in. I know they were losing to the Marlins. Let's see where we at with the Rockies.
And the Braves beat the Rockies 11-8.
Wow.
And the Mets are losing 4-0 in the bottom of the 7th.
So the Braves pick up a game. And here's the thing. I'm not even worried about the Braves because I'm worried about the best, one of the top 2 records. And Tyler, I don't know if people are paying attention, but the Milwaukee Brewers are balling right now from a baseball standpoint.
Yeah, I think they're a game and a half behind the Phillies now for best record in the National League. I mean, they picked up Rhys Hoskins. They lost manager Craig Counsell to their division rival, the Cubs. Everybody thought, oh, the Brewers are done after this. There's no way they're coming back. Now they're even better than the Cubs. So, I mean, hats off to the Brewers for everything they're doing. Yelich, he's been hurt recently. I don't know when he's supposed to come back. He was going to get surgery that was going to be out, make him out for the year, but I think he said he's not doing that. He's going to wait till the offseason so he can come back. So definitely a dangerous team to look out for in the playoffs.
Very, very dangerous. They're a team that can hit the crap out of the ball. And you have to start looking at that. Right now, you have the Dodgers, 2 games, I think Brewers 2.5, back below the Phillies, but at any time, they can jump ahead of them, meaning as one of the top 2 records in baseball. So or in the National League. So we really have to start looking at that. Really have to start looking at that. Because I even with these ebbs and flows, I don't see the Mets or the Braves realistically catching us. I just think that it's too much of an uphill battle based on their roster, their injuries, and how hard they have to fight to get it. So I'm not worried about that. But what I'm worried about is not being able to split this series tomorrow, Tyler, because listen, just from a confidence standpoint, I know we're coming home after this game, but this is a big game. It's a big game for Christopher Sanchez to continue back. I mean, he looked really good in his last start. He needs 2 back-to-back. But the other story is Merrill Kelly on the other side, who's returning to the rotation. He was hurt most of the year, and he was a guy who really gave us fits in the playoffs last year. So this is the Phillies really need to win this game, and they're going to have to not let Merrill Kelly beat them.
No, the last thing you need is another pitcher turning back the clock. I mean, turning back the clock back to 8. But yep. Yeah, Merrill Kelly's a really good pitcher. So the Phillies have been dead in the water with the offense the last 2 nights. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see if they come out one more time on this West Coast road trip.
It really is, man. It really is. I'm so frustrated. I really am. I'm so frustrated. I was watching the game and I'm thinking to myself that I think it was like 10 o'clock. And I was like, we're only in the 4th inning. Like, why? Like, and
game.
Yeah, it's been happening that way. And I think it's just because of the way it shows that there's a bad command with the pitchers because there are a lot of long counts, a lot of erratic throws. We're not used to that. We're used to those 6, 7, 8 pitch innings, man, when everybody was dealing. And one thing I tweeted out, Tyler, that I'll talk about, before we get out of here. But and by the way, Christopher Sanchez pitching tomorrow. You see the record right there, 8.7, 3.27 ERA, really good spot for him. But the one thing that concerns me, the reason why I'm concerned more than anything, is the Phillies as a whole, in my opinion, have never had to work so hard in order to get out of a slump. Like, they've gone through these ebbs and flows and they've battled back. But the problem is now it seems like, in my opinion, that they're really pressing and they're really trying. And to me, I'm thinking to myself, I hope this is not going to take a couple notches of their, of their stamina out when it comes to October, because even though, we expected peaks and valleys, this is an uphill battle that they're really traveling hard up that hill. I just don't want them to get tired before October.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want is a tired team going into October. And the Phillies are a pretty historically bad September team, especially Aaron Nola. He likes to fall off in that month. I remember 2021, Phillies and the Mets were neck and neck for the division in August. And then once September came around, I think they were tied or within like a game or 2 by the start of September. And then a week in, they were just completely out of the playoff race. So hopefully doesn't happen this year. Hopefully we got the slump out of the way, but Phillies, I would even consider using the 6-man rotation. Put Tyler Phillips in even when Taijuan Walker comes back. I mean, not Colby Allard anymore because he's down in AAA, but I would do a 6-man rotation at this point. Keep Wheeler, keep Nola, all of them healthy, especially Suarez, who's coming back from an injury, and Taijuan Walker too. He's also coming back from an injury. I know Zach Wheeler says he likes 5 days rest rather than 6, but yep. I definitely think it's much needed for this team.
Yeah, I do too. I do. I think they need to figure that out. They have to figure out a way to get that 3-man rotation clicking, make sure everybody is good with it, everybody's happy with it. And listen, you have Spencer Turnbull that's going to be working his way back as well. So obviously he'll be in the bullpen as a long relief kind of guy. They can use him very well, but again, it's another guy that can step in. You know, a lot of stuff has happened since April and May, you know, with some of these injuries and some of these guys that just have completely hit a wall at times, right? We kept expecting Bryce to stop that snap out of whatever funk that he's in. We've all expected Jose Alvarado to be lockdown dominant once again. We've all expected that. And unfortunately, a lot of these things now, and they haven't turned around. So listen, there's still time. I get it. I'm not in full-blown panic mode, but I am deeply concerned based on the fundamental lapses in judgment for this Philly teams at the plate and at the field. Again, tomorrow it's Christopher Sanchez versus Merrill Kelly. Make sure you're following Heat Ratio Sports on all social formats. Tyler, tomorrow we got post game tomorrow. You got a post game tomorrow?
Yes, sir. 10 minutes after the final out.
3 p.m. or pregame. I'm sorry. Pregame, postgame, pregame. You got it. Pregame, right?
Yep. 3 p.m. Because game start, I think it's 4:10 start. I thought it started at 2 for some reason. I think that's next Sunday. So
make sure you're tuned in for that pregame live at 3 p.m. I'll be at an event. I will be on with Tyler, and while Tyler's doing his postgame. When you're done listening to Tyler in the post game, make sure you hop over to Sirius and you listen to me from 7 to 9, represent Heat Ratio Sports and Win Daily Sports as we break down the fantasy football landscape, man. We got some mock drafts going. We got some bets going, man. Tony shows up on a loss. I know. Of course, right? It was early, Adam. Give me a break, man. Hey, it's the weekend. Hey, it's a weekend. I actually had a couple cocktails today, so I usually don't do that. So I'm actually feeling good, feeling a little spicy tonight, and I was hoping for a really good win. Didn't happen. No. Didn't happen. But listen, man, we're gonna get out of here. We appreciate everybody checking in. Big stuff. Listen, I do want to say this as I get out because I've had literally, and I'm not exaggerating, I have about 7 phone calls to make next week. I'm actually going down to shore for the day on Monday, but I actually have 7 calls to make. I put a post out there on Twitter, on Facebook, on my Facebook page. Listen, looking for hosts. Okay, you see what Tyler's been doing. Okay, so what we're trying to do is I kind of want to take over the pre and post game angle, you know, within this digital space, and not just for Philly. Okay, not just for Philly, but I will say this: anybody interested? I can tell you right now that I do have credentials already for certain teams that you will be able to go. And again, I'm not telling you that's going to be for the Eagles. Obviously, you know how hard that is to get. No, but listen, if you are a lacrosse guy and you like the Wings, which is, I'm telling you what, man, it's a fantastic an event. I do. I like going to Wings. I do have a credential right here for Heat Ratio Sports. So listen, if you want to cover the Wings, let me know. If you want to cover the Union, let me know. If you want to cover the Flyers, let me know. Okay. There's so many different things. But again, what we want to do is we want energy. We want passion. Okay. And we want consistency. So here's an idea. And I tell everybody this. Okay, so you're not a Philadelphia guy. No problem. Say you're, a Texas guy. All right, cool. All I'm saying is, how about we do something different that nobody else is doing, and we do an NFL review, an MLB review. What if you do your own ESPN highlight reel at night, and you break down all the games in 15 minutes? You know, so whatever you can do from a host standpoint, we want to talk here. And we have a fantastic partnership with Win Daily Sports where I'm working on now to get an affiliate program going on a joint venture where, guys will have the opportunity to have their own their own link to go out there and try to sell, and obviously to make revenue and make money to put in their pockets. And listen, this is the beginning. Once we start getting this rolling, that's when we look for the sponsorships. That's when we start to get the partnerships going, and that's when things start to come in. So if you're looking to be a host, okay, and you're looking for something, even if you have your own brand, okay, it doesn't matter. It's all about dual branding. I've already talked to a couple guys that we're going to do that they're going to come on. They're going to do shows, and it's going to be branded with 2 networks, okay? One with Heat Ratio Sports and one with Corner Pub Sports, okay? So there, again, it's joint ventures as well. I'll end in closing because I could talk a lot. I'm just going to tell you that I really feel there are a ton of talented individuals that not only are talented, but hungry to even get better and be more talented. And I'm telling you now, the opportunities just aren't out there. They're just not. You look at in the radio industry, all due respect, those guys, okay, they stand the test of time because they're good. Right? Mac now just retired. How long was he doing it? Angelo just retired. How long was he doing it? Oh, 97.5. Who's coming back? Mike Missinelli knocks another guy out, right? They get comfortable with the people they enjoy, which is fine. So let's make an opportunity for everybody here. Okay, let's take over the digital space as much as we can, okay, and show everybody the talent because there's still opportunities. I'm telling you right now, there's still opportunities. So I will end with that. Looking forward to everybody catching up next week and bringing some new blood in here as well to do more than just Tyler's doing right here with the Phillies post game. Maybe doing Sixers post game. We want to do an Eagles post game. I'd like to get 3 or 4 people for an Eagles post game. I think it would be fantastic, and still bring other people in. Right, still bringing other people in. So, listen, we obviously all bleed green, and we love NFL. NFL is king. So, whether it's an NFL review, it's Eagles, hit me up. It's late. I'm pissed. Tyler's frustrated. Phillies lost. Let's see if we can get a win tomorrow. Hopefully, everybody have a fantastic evening. Hit me up if you want to do some hosting. I almost said coasting. Hit me up if you want to do some hosting. And make sure you like and subscribe to the stream. And we'll catch you back here tomorrow.